hung by nooses and that we're, you know, comparable to gorillas.
People are scared, honestly. Black females are scared.
I get in an elevator with all white people and I feel uncomfortable, like openly. I want to get out of there as soon as I can because I don't know how they feel, because there's just been always anonymous hate.
There is a division amongst campus because there's just overall, like, they're attacking us.
We're here to live and learn, and if we can't do those both peacefully, then we have to take our services and our money elsewhere.
Courtney Purnell, Aaron Field, and Michael Holloman are students at American University. I've known them, for quite some time now. Sit in your classroom. They're all incredibly bright. They talk politics. They don't mince words. They don't come with talking points. So we're going to have a candid conversation here. First off, nobody likes to see and hear these kind of things happening on their campus. You love the school. You've given a lot to the school. You represent the school well, just as this new student body president does. So let me get right to the point, because we know what happened now. Is there a race problem on American University's campus? You guys were talking before we started rolling tape, and come on, Aaron, you said you didn't know that there was a race problem. You hadn't seen one.
No, honestly, before I talked with other students around campus, I had always thought American University was a really liberal and diverse and open college, and I didn't think of it as a university that would have a race issue. But when this came up, and after hearing from a lot of different people, I think you can't say that it doesn't. And I just think that the whole country has a race problem. It's not an isolated incident. This occurs all across the country, and I wouldn't just say American University has a race problem. Everyone, or all around the country right now, there's a race problem.
Right. You guys went like, what? And she said she didn't know that there was What is the race problem at American University? Why should that be so apparent to everybody?
Well, for me, I went to a PWI institution before American, and honestly, coming into American, I kind of expected the same experience. So I'm not really surprised at the climate of the school. And also on top of that, it's not the most diverse institution. They do try, I will admit that. But I think that in terms of being able to encourage, real conversations and getting students together and continuing to be persistent about race issues, they don't do that well. And I think that's why a lot of students are tired and frustrated at this point.
Michael?
I agree. I did not go to a PWI for undergrad. I went to a HBCU.
For people who don't know, what's PWI?
Predominantly white university.
Okay.
So I went to a historically black college or university for undergrad. So I'm used to seeing people who look like me in positions of authority. And I can't lie, when I came to American University, the first 2 weeks was a very big culture shock. Seeing, black people who only work at a Starbucks or a Subway and not professors.
That would be like Aaron going to grad school at a predominantly black school. It's like, it's different, right? When you're not in the majority, it is different, right?
Yeah, it's very different. But yes, I agree. I think America as a whole has a race problem. I don't think it's just American University, and I think it proves that, no matter how liberal a university is, no matter if you're smack dab in the middle of a big city, race has no respective county, it has no respective place, that exists everywhere.
How does it manifest itself on a college campus, though? We know what happens out here in the workplace. We know what happens. You've seen the confrontations with all the various adult groups, if you will. So what happens on the college campus that could be perceived as racial?
Well, I believe that a lot of slurs are said and kind of swept under the rug, and I think that really a lot of buildup occurs, and then you have this incident that can't be ignored. But honestly, I feel that it's a whole bunch of microaggressions that happen, and students talk about it and they're offended by it, and they may go to a faculty member about it, but it's not really addressed. And I think that builds tension, and for this reason, there definitely is a prevalent race problem. It's not addressed, and I think that's the issue.
And like in mainstream society, although everybody cheers for the athletes, and there might be a majority of black athletes, that, they're all there for AU, that's different. They're a different group, athletes, and okay. Aaron, you want to add to that? I mean, what do we do to begin to mend and fix this from this point on? What do you think?
Honestly, I'm not sure. We were like you said, we were talking at the beginning of this, and I think that something Courtney said would really start just slow steps to making, you know, AU more diverse, hire more Black faculty, more professors, more administrators. I think, you know, really diversifying the campus in that systemic way would go about really showing that the students that our campus is, you know, really diverse, like we are constantly touting that we are.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
I totally agree. I think it starts from the top. I think the leadership really has to take control and take the reins of this. I applaud all the students who are using their voices to raise awareness for this issue, but it starts at the top.
Do you find most of the students tend to isolate like we do out here, you know, in mainstream America? You go with people who are socially and culturally a good fit for you. Is that part, you know, we worship, you know, in segregated places. So it's pretty much like it is out here in the real world, right?
Yes, definitely.
I think that's why I didn't know there was a racial problem at American University. I identify as really liberal, and I like to think of myself as inclusive, and so I tend to go with those crowds, and so yeah, that's probably why I didn't think so.
Right, okay. We got a couple of seconds left. Want to sum it up? Go ahead.
I believe with this conversation on race, we all need to realize, regardless if you're a person of color or not, it is a conversation that is for all of us, and it's very important. It's a story that we need to continue, and there is a lot of debate of who's woke and who's not, and I don't think anyone completely is woke. It's a continued process, and we always need to be learning more about being aware of who's around us.
Yeah, and another thing that a lot of my friends need to understand who are not of color is that we're not asking to be tolerated, okay? We're asking to be accepted. We don't want to be a colorblind society. We want to recognize the various colors.
Yes.
Am I right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, there you go. I'll keep saying that. Thank you. All right, for the record, we did ask for an American University school official to join us tonight for the discussion. We went all the way up asking for the president, and from the president on down, we were turned down. They're always welcome, though, to join us here for this conversation. A person dies every